Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we'll be painting a mini watercolor landscape, so grab your paints and let's begin. So for supplies I have some Arches cold pressed paper. I cut this into sort of a rectangular size. This is a 4 by 3.8 inch. I then have some washi tape, have a size 2 and a size 6. I have a little pencil. We're just going to do a light little sketch just so I know where everything is going. And then I have some dried up paint that I used recently. I think this is Prussian blue by Maimeri blue. And then there may also be some Viridian green in there as well. And then I've just got a jar of water. Okay, so I'm going to start off first by drawing. So I'm thinking we're going to do a winter scene. So I'm just roughly adding in sort of where the snow is going to be. So I'm just going to paint the river going sort of all the way to the edge and then sort of coming to an end point. Then I'm just going to add some little lines. This is just to show me sort of where it goes uphill, and then we're going to have maybe some trees. I'm just really roughly sketching. This is just sort of the process to understand. And then the skyline is going to be sort of less than halfway, and then we're going to have sort of little tree shadows coming through there, and then maybe just some twigs at the forefront here, and then maybe a bigger tree. Okay, so I'm going to leave that right there, and we're just going to start with painting. So I'm going to take my size 2 and I'm going to go and wet where we've placed the river. As I want to do some wet on wet so that it bleeds really nicely. And with watercolor, for snow to be sort of apparent and for you to know that where the snow is, you need to color everything else. So I'm going to go straight in with my blue. And I'm just going to start at the bottom and just lightly place and then I'm just going to clean off my brush and I'm going to pull the colour towards the other side, just because I don't want it to be too dark. And then where the edges are, I'm just gonna go in and just sort of line them and let the colour bleed into it slightly. This is going to give us that 3D effect that is going to make the snow appear as if it's higher than the water. And then maybe just going to add some lines just roughly, and then I'm just going to darken it towards the bottom. Okay, and then we're just going to pull off some water just to make it a bit lighter. Okay, and I'm going to leave the river like that. I'm going to go straight into the sky. I'm going to swap to my size 6, and I'm just going to wet sort of 2/3 of where we've put the line for the sky to be. And again, I'm just going to take the same colour and I'm just going to let that bleed through, just to look as sort of as if there's a greyish blue sky then clean off my brush. I'm just going to lightly drag that colour down and blend it into the rest of the sky. Okay, and then I'm just going to go in with slightly more pigment, more colour, this Prussian blue. I'm just going to deepen some of the colours. Okay, happy with that. So now for our snow, I'm going to take a dry brush effect. So I'm going to clean my brush, and then I'm going to just remove as much water as I can, and then picking up a little bit of colour where I've put some lines, I'm just going to drag my brush and just roughly put it on the paper. This is just to give a little bit of shadow as to where the snow is going to be. I'm going to go where the horizontal line is, and taking my size 6, I'm going to start adding some lines just to appear as trees. Because it's still wet from the sky, it's going to bleed. Okay, so I'm going to just take my brush, again, sort of dry brush technique, and I'm going to bleed some of that colour down. I'm just sort of pushing my brush backwards and forwards. I'm going to take a little bit more colour and just add some shadows. Just taking, doing some small lines, some big lines, leaving some gaps. Like so. Okay, then I'm going to go back in with pigment, and I'm going to go in and add those shadows a little bit more, so we get a deeper contrast between the snow and the lake. And then we're just going to start painting in the trees. So taking my size 2 now. I'm just going to, my hand was blocking the camera, but I'm just going to lightly add in some twigs. This is going to be more of a bushel, and then maybe add another one here, and just little ones over there in the distance. And then going to go in and start drawing a tree. And another another one here, and we're just going to make it slightly smaller as it gets further and further away, so that we get the appearance that this is closer to us and further away is towards the back. And maybe make this tree slightly bigger so that we have a focal point. In the painting. And then just taking whatever is left on my brush, I'm just going to bring some shadows downwards, like so, and just a few rubbing technique. Then I'm going to take my white gouache on my size 2, and I'm just going to tap it lightly just to add a little bit of snow. Okay, then I'm going to peel off my washi tape, and you can just see how nicely this washi tape works. So I hope you enjoyed today's super simple and easy tutorial and it got you creating something, and I'll see you in the next video.